welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I am very happy to have you back. Today, we are going to be talking about, I have 3 really good tips for classroom behavior management that work across all ages, from TK through 5th, and then 9 through 12. So I assume that they work for 6, 7, and 8. I've actually never taught middle school. I don't know that I have the guts for it. I think that middle school teachers are probably up there with being nominated for sainthood. The hormones are just a little bit too thick in middle school. I don't know. I just could never really do middle school. So cheers to you, middle school teachers. You're fantastic. You're amazing people. When I started this current position, my traveling teacher position, and if you missed my first video, I explained what that's all about in my Welcome to the Caffeinated Classroom. But really fast, I have been a high school teacher my whole entire career for about 11 years. And then last year, I took a special assignment position where I spend 2 years. I'm almost done with my tenure here. And I go around to 13 different schools within my school district because we have a unified school district, so we're K through 12. I go through TK through 5 classrooms at 13 different schools, 3 different classes on each campus. There's a whole team of us, and between all of us, we see every elementary school student in our entire district. It's a lot of kids. I had to real fast brush up on my classroom management skills because it had been a decade since I cleared my credential. And so, yeah, I've been observed here and there, but I didn't have I don't know, I got to the point where I wasn't actively thinking about, okay, and what's my behavior management skill going to be today as I teach this lesson? How am I going to make sure that it just became second nature. A lot of the tactics that I use and the techniques that I use in my own classroom to keep kids engaged and make sure that they're on task. And I quickly realized, especially when I was in 4th and 5th grade classrooms, this is when it hit me like a ton of bricks, that my own personal teaching style relied so much on my personality and on my rapport with students to keep them engaged and keep them behaving appropriately and meeting expectations. And when you go into an elementary school classroom and they don't know you and they don't really care what your opinion is, and it's not in a bad way, they just there's no background, there's no rapport between us. They were bonkers, and I was really given a run for my money for the first couple of months when I was trying to figure out catch my bearings and know how to get the students on track, because I made the mistake of treating 5th graders like 9th graders because they're big. They sound like they know what's going on, and some of them do know what's going on, but they're 10. They're still little kids. And it's something that logically I knew. And a lot of you elementary teachers watching this are going to be yeah, they're little kids, Marie. But you got to understand, my own children at the time, my daughter, when I started this position, was 3 months old. I started right after maternity leave, and my son was 3 years old and just starting preschool. So I was in that land. So the TK classes, the K classes, 1st grade, even 2nd grade, I was good to go. I had all that behavior management down. I was perfectly fine. 4th and 5th grade, 3rd grade a little bit, but 4th and 5th grade really threw me for a loop. So I went back to my basics, and here are my 3 tips for things that will work, techniques, TK all the way up till 12th graders, just to keep kiddos on track. Obviously there are going to be some anomalies, but I will say that these 3 things work 99.4% of the time. Number 1 is just wait. Don't expel all of your energy. I made the really big mistake of coming into these classrooms and being hi guys, I'm Mrs. Morrison. It's time for us to do our awesome activity today. Blah. And that did 2 things for the little guys, especially. It got them all riled up and they became unruly, and I wasn't able to rein them back in, and it exhausted me. So I would get home to my own children and just be this lump on the couch and unable to, I don't know, actually interact with my poor sweet babies. And then it made me just like, by Wednesday, I was drained and I was so over it. And like my entire weekend was spent completely recovering to try and gear back up for Monday. And I was just like leaving it all on the stage there. I just wait. Kids are great at self-regulating. And this is one of the first things they teach us in the teacher credential program. Latency. Wait. Just wait for kids to come in and figure out that we have made a transition and that something new is happening in class, and they just have to get with it. And it takes some kids longer than others, but I will tell you, there are going to be a few in your class who will turn around and be like, hey, shh, she's waiting for us. Shh. Or they'll be like, hey guys, that teacher's trying to talk to us. And that's always a little counterproductive. So you just kind of have to be like, oh, thank you so much. You don't have to do that. I'll take care of it, but I appreciate your help. And then when that doesn't work, it brings me to my second success key, proximity. I get real close to the kiddos who are still talking. So you stand up in front of the class, right? You are waiting. If you've got a class of 30, you've got 28 of them, hook, line, and sinker. They are in, they are waiting for you. And there are still 2 kids or even 1 kid who just cannot get their cookies together. And they're just talking as if nobody else in the world exists. And, we've all had that student in our class, and they're just kind of out there, and often they're the most creative ones, but man, are they hard to rein in. So you just walk up to them and stand there. Sometimes I just put a little bink, just one little finger on their shoulder, and they kind of look at you yeah. And you're like, hi. And when they realize that the whole rest of the room is quiet, they go, oh. And then you can just start talking. I normally don't even say anything to these kiddos. I just stand there. And I'm like, hi, it's time for us to start. But without my words, I just stand there, stare at them. And it's a nice way so that they don't have to get totally embarrassed by getting berated all the time. Those chatty kids, they hear their own name more than anything in class because they're the ones who have to get redirected, and you can just stand there and then you're not exhausted. Once again, this is not revolutionary stuff, but if you're somebody like me who's been teaching for a long time and you kind of forget about thinking about these things really directly, it's just a good brush up, and I can tell you it's really working, and I'm no longer completely roadkill exhausted by the end of Tuesday afternoon because all of my energy is spent trying to get kids' attention, because we transition a lot. There's a lot of change in what we're doing, from instruction to guided practice to individual practice, and then we go outside, and then we're walking in the hallway and we're lining up, and there's just all these things. And so these are tactics that have really, really saved me. So my third and final, really big good tip is to whisper. I used to do this all the time. I have a very, very loud voice, as you can tell. I have to, in all of these videos, I've had to bring down my volume because even though I'm only speaking at a conversational tone, my voice totally distorts the whole microphone. So apologies. But I'm really, really good at using my voice to get attention. And as a person who never loses my voice, I'm vocally trained. I've been a theater student and then a theater teacher for a very long time. I don't lose my voice. I was losing my voice all the time because I was trying to overpower kids. And I was forgetting that I'm in charge and they're going to be listening to me. And that's how this is going to work. And so I just started to lower my voice and to whisper. And oh my gosh, everything I said was they were hanging on my every word. And it works. This one works the best with really, really young kids and way older kids because there's something they want to be in the know. So with the little guys, kindergartners, first graders, second graders, when I bring my voice down really low and I kind of do a lot of this, they get really excited I'm going to tell them this really cool secret. And even though I'm and then you're going to sit in your seat and take out a pair of scissors. It's the most amazing thing. And they all do it. With 10th graders, they feel they're learning some dirt or something. And you're telling them something that they never would have known. And so you whisper and you go, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do today. And they're exclusive and they've got the VIP scoop and it's the most hilarious thing in the world. But it really does work, and it saves my voice and it saves my energy, and it just gets us all going in the same direction that we need to be going, and it keeps us all on track. I really hope that for those of you who are veteran teachers like me, maybe just like thinking about these things will make you go, oh yeah, I totally do that. And you can be more mindful about these behavior management skills in your own and these techniques in your own teaching practice. And if you are just starting out, this is your first, second year maybe, or your student teaching, these are things that you're going to be told by your teachers, by your guide teacher, and by like your mentors, and they're not saying it just to hear themselves talk. These tactics really, really work. They're very, very simple. All you have to do is wait, and then when that's not working, proximity, go and stand or sit right next to the kiddo that needs a little bit of help paying attention. And then last but not least, just lower your voice, and it kind of makes everybody lean in. Please let me know in the comments below how these work for you. And also if you've got like a no-brainer behavior management technique that you're like, listen, I have not done this since my training and I started doing this and it's the most amazing thing and I can't believe I haven't been doing this all along. Please, please, please comment below and we can share our practices, our best practices as professionals with each other and help each other succeed. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have a moment, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Let's connect on social media too. I'm on Instagram at The Caffeinated Class, and my blog is www.thecaffeinatedclassroom.com. I hope to see you there. Have a good one.